Hi there. It's Beyond the Veil of Sleep Happy Hours, October 24th, 6 p.m. in the Central. Thanks for being here now or later if that's when you are in fact here. If you've got any kind of correspondence to send along to us, shoot us an email at veilofsleep@gmail.com. If you're watching live, jump in the chat. That's seems like the best and most fun way to interact for folks. And then if you're watching asynchronously, feel free to post if something leaps in there, and I will, you may have to give me a week to actually get to it. Same with emails, but I will get to it and get back to you. Everything that we're gonna do is like between a hard PG-13 and a hard NC-17, probably leaning towards the latter more than the former. So if you've got any kind of sensitive parties around, then get them out now so they're not exposed to whatever this may be. Tonight, I'm pulling on Brian Garrity, who just was who I got to know as he went through the program at CSE, and he just finished up his the what constitutes sort of like the formal track of the program this Wednesday with the last of the class shows that he was in. Also has decades of improv experience. So I thought we were having a pretty interesting conversation around all that stuff. So I last minute asked him if he could jump on to continue that conversation in a more visible way, and then play a couple scenes. And he was charitable enough to do it. So hey, Brian, why don't you jump on and we'll chat a little bit.
Hey man,
Um, thanks for being here.
my
First and
pleasure.
foremost.
My pleasure. I'm a longtime fan.
Well, it was nice. I was like, "Hey, I think this is a good idea. This could be cool," and I lucked into you being here. So yeah, I mean, I guess I think that it feels like it's one of those things where the conversation that we were having around kind of like what it is to be in those, what it is to be in like sort of those shows, and then figuring out what to do next. And you all are in process, so you don't even know. But I kind of feel like you're at an emotional point right now, of like completing this, completing that the program, and then also I feel like, being in what I would, classify as like a really successful run of shows, um,
Thank
coming out of the program too. So it's like, um, it just feels like kind of like talking about where your head's at, and what you're thinking, and having a little bit of a dialogue on that kind of was it seemed like it was going great in messages. Why not have it live?
Why not see if others want to like get anything out of it? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like it started when you just mentioned something to me on the way out on Wednesday night, and sort of planted a seed about like a mindset to take into establishing a group or an ensemble that's going to continue on, and what could what are some things to think about that might make that fulfilling and successful? And you only gave me like a nugget, and so it gave me like a 18 hours to kind of process and think like, what did that mean to me? Where did I think you were coming from? And I had questions, so I messaged you and said, "Hey, do you mind if I ask you to say a little more?" And that led to the back and forth, which I really appreciated. And it's taken up. I've been thinking about it a lot in the past
Oh,
days.
good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I realize like to some degree, I really have to be kind of like careful about it though too, where because it is in a lot of ways it's sort of like not my business, and just because I have some sort of like emotional involvement with seeing a group of people like seem to enjoy to play well together, and put up some pretty good shows. And I've had like a lot of kind of good experiences myself with different cohorts of people, uh and playing shows and figuring out what you know, what we want to do with ourselves and what we find important and what we want to, how
Yeah,
we want to
and
play, all that stuff, you know?
I mean, yeah, you might look at it as not your business, but like you weren't trying to control it. You were just offering some advice.
Yeah.
And it felt to me like it was coming from a place of wanting us to be successful. And so for me, it was welcomed. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, good. Yeah. Because I do think it's just like an overabundance of enthusiasm
Hmm.
for things that I think are good. But, you know, like after you left, I wound up haranguing your classmates about it too, where I'm like, what are you going to do?
Right,
Figure it
right,
out,
right.
right? You like it's easy and fun to play together, right? So maybe you should. So what's the plan? And I know that you all kind of haven't figured that out in
Yeah,
any kind of
I don't think any
particular
of
way.
us, I don't think any of us who did the shows ended that run like with a sigh of relief that it was over. Like,
Right. Yeah.
yeah. So I think we're all coming from some mindset of like, how can we make this work both as a group and for ourselves going forward?
Yeah.
And we're early in that process to the point where we have hardly talked about it.
Right.
Um, but I think that's got to be most people's mindset, you know.
Yeah, it's a funny thing because I do think that I guess why it's so important to me is that like so much of a part of like my involvement and investment in the program is like the idea of finding those ensembles, and like yeah, there's some amount of kind of like it trying to be generally practically useful in other sort of like contexts in any kind of ensemble you find yourself in. But then I get particularly invested with the ensembles that move through the program because I get to know people and I get to see the shows and sort of like it's it's I appreciate kind of like the opportunity of like the opportunity of configuration of folks, and like what different configurations of people produce and it's a funny thing, I mean, I think that like kind of particularly the CIC program has been really cool because I do think it tends to output groups of people that are more positioned to like be teams than almost I guess almost uniquely so, where it doesn't manifest for everybody. Certainly, but like they're still teams kind of hanging around, playing for years after kind of like going through the experience, and it's
Well, it doesn't hurt to have an entire level focused
yeah.
on ensemble. Um, yeah, and like I mean, for me, I mean, a couple things. One thing I think we probably should name what we've been talking about.
Oh, sure, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And then two, for me, what I've learned about myself is I have to be engaged and productive, fun, fulfilling, creative endeavors with groups of people to function, to exist.
yeah,
Um, and if it's and I don't have a lot of space for it, not being fun, not being productive because this is free time and so like any thoughts or processing that could be done to increase the odds that that's the experience that you have feels worthwhile to me. And so one of the interesting pieces of advice you gave me was to think about a goal uh,
yeah,
in and that was about all I heard on Wednesday night. So that was a broad topic for most of Thursday in terms of like what could goals mean. Um, what angle are we talking about here? Are we talking about like we want to perform at this place? We want to do this many shows a month. We want to create our own form or take this form and do something new with it. Uh, what kind of stuff are we talking about here? And I could see value in all that stuff.
yeah,
And then it just became like sort of obvious that like, oh yeah, like most organizations or groups have a mission statement or some sort of goal that they're working towards. And why wouldn't that apply to a collaborative art form like this. And like there's probably no wrong type of goal to think about or to want to have. But yeah, I think what we're talking about, what we've you and I have kind of gotten on the same page about is what we're talking about right now is more about what we want to focus on creatively in terms of the shows that we're creating.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably being self-indulgent in what I care most about. Like all that sort of like the logistics stuff is important, but I am kind of like, yeah, I'm focused on sort of like the notion of like the artistic statement,
Yeah,
of like, um, there has been an opportunity to discover if you consider like there is a ourselves to a group of people, right? Then like um what I wind up thinking about there is like, well, what do you like about yourself, and how do you want to improve? It's like
that's exactly the thoughts I've been
improvement.
having today.
Yeah,
Is like,
yeah,
okay, who are we? What are we about? And what do we do well? What do we like about ourselves? And how do we make that part of the goal of like honoring that, keeping a focus on that? And then also at the same time, how do we want to grow? Where do we
yeah.
want to get to? What are some things that maybe we want to add to what we are now? And
Yeah,
so
I find that to be the most
blending that,
interesting
yeah,
thing, It's like that exactly that of like the and I think probably particularly why I think this conversation is interesting right now for you and for you all, and why I'm being so like, we should talk about this, is that like you uh you know th- going through sort of like a, a particular curriculum sort of imply. I think that more fluid than we're a more practical point of view than dogmatic, but you're still listening to a particular curriculum that's saying like, hey, these are the things that we think are important and you should do these things, right?
mhm.
And now you're on the having exited that, they're like, nobody is going to tell you that anymore, other than being like, I like your shows or whatever, right? And
Or
so
the echoes of what we heard in the past.
right, right. And like, yeah, I kind of am like, well, the as that trajectory moves on, the importance of kind of like that enforcement of like the academic environment is dramatically less important. And so I think that reflection, that's why I'm so like, I guess it's me being me again, but getting overexcited about things and being like, this is fascinating. You have now essentially, you've passed down the academic birth canal and now are in the free the free open wide world.
Yeah.
And I'm
Right. And
I'm curious.
in the context of like, if this is something that helps groups be successful and stay together, then it feels really productive because
Yeah.
this is something we're all doing because we love, we want to keep doing. So like, let's um let's gather the things that make that most likely to succeed. And like, I mean, I'm thinking about any relationship.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
Talking about this kind of stuff, it might feel a little awkward initially. It may not come to you naturally, but like it's definitely sets the stage for success. Whereas like keeping your thoughts and feelings inside and hoping for shit doesn't
Right.
always doesn't always lead to long-lasting marriages and shit like
Right.
that.
You might just be pining
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and then disappointed. But
yeah.
yeah, I think that that's the kind of thing too, is that why I'm being so like, why I'm clinging to this particular conversation and compel it, like being like, hey, do me a favor, let's talk about it, is that I do think that like it I realize in talking to you and your classmates particularly that, and maybe it's something that's been so kind of subconscious, but in a lot of ways, I think that, you know, for me as one of the people that operates in trying to conduct the information in the curriculum, I treat it kind of almost like it's self-evident that you would want to like keep playing together after having like a class that works well together and does a good bunch of shows and just is a team and does good team shows. I'm like, oh well, it's self-evident that you would want to stay together, but I don't know that we as a program do actually do a good job of explicitly saying like, hey, one of the things that you might want to consider is staying together.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, in,
No, it's sort of implied.
yeah,
I started at CIC, I think in January of this year, and not long after that, I went to my first Wednesday night show. I went to my first Thursday night open stage, and then I started coming around pretty often. It was a nice space to be in those months. And then you kind of pick up on, okay, this is how this works. I watched this team go through their grad run, and now
right.
I'm seeing them every 4 to 6 weeks as a guest group, and I'm seeing them pop up around town. Okay, cool. And as soon as I kind of got an understanding of that, and then I looked around the room that I was in and the class that I was in, I was like, oh, holy shit! Like, I'd love to be part of a group with these people. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
um, I mean, I've had incredibly good luck with the ensembles that I've become a part of since I just moved to Chicago in September of 24, so I haven't been here all that long, and I've can't believe how good a fortune I've had with the ensembles that I've become a part of. Um, just like
Well,
it's
I
great.
did it 20 years earlier, and I feel the same way. And so I think there's probably some amount of like, you know, you should give yourself credit too for people wanting to play with you, and being a
Possibly,
good teammate. It's that's
possibly,
the yeah. And I gotta shout out, that I've talked to you a lot about the Danimals, Ray's in the chat. So shout out to Animals, of
uh,
course.
I'm,
Uh,
I'm a big Ray fan.
yeah, Ray's awesome. Ray's really awesome. Don't let that go to your head, Ray. I know you won't. So
Don't giggle. Do not giggle, Ray.
do not giggle. What you mean his little his little secret squirrely laugh, that something's going well. When that pops out, that peeks out of the top of his pocket. Yeah. Well, so we'll play a little bit, but I think I think I just think I appreciate you having this conversation with me, and you can see where I like have like an anthropological fascination with it. And
Can I go back 2 steps? And,
yes,
and
because I have one last thing that I want to
okay,
ask
I'll
you
let you.
too.
Oh, okay, cool.
No, no, you go ahead, and then I'm
Sorry,
gonna.
I didn't mean to interrupt your thought.
No, no, no. It's phew.
So I'm gonna thank you for something real quick. At the end, I had you for level 3 at CSC, and at the very end, you were talking to us as that final class was ending, and you said something along the lines of like, "Hey, our time in this class is over, but you're gonna see me out in the world, and essentially, you better fucking say hi."
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
you
appreciate it.
basically said, "Hey, I know like there's this idea that I'm the teacher, you're the students, whatever, but like now this is over and I'm just out in the community and I want you to approach me. I want to be approachable." And you did it in the context of like me having jetted the earlier the previous week without saying goodbye because I tend to not want to approach people that look busy or look like people are pulling for their attention. Anyways,
But it
I
did
thought that
mildly hurt
was
my feelings, so that's why I
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
say
I know,
that.
right? And I probably done that my whole life to people who didn't tell me otherwise. Um, that was so generous and gracious and gave me the permission that I needed to stop and say goodbye as I'm leaving, which led me to stop and say goodbye as I was leaving last Wednesday, which led you to say what you said about having goals for teams, which led to the further conversation. It all goes back to that. So like
Well,
that generosity paid some dividends here in terms of where we find ourselves.
I mean, I know Yeah, I know it's hard. Also, as an introvert, I know it's hard, but in a lot of ways, it's kind of like we are all part of like the same community here, and it should be really flat. Um, it's sort of an illusion for there to be any kind of hierarchical stuff
Right, right,
in
right.
the slice that we're in. And
But it's
so,
almost inevitable.
yeah, I mean, it is, but yeah, it's
It's inevitable unless you call it out and say, I don't want that.
yeah,
You get it.
yeah. I mean, and I think that's why I'm so aggressive about that is just because it's like, because I know what it feels like, and in a funny way, I mean, like I said, I'm like, I actually really appreciate people being at things and engaging and like participating in the community. And
Mhm.
that's why I want to at least, like acknowledge each other.
Yeah,
And because it's like I appreciate people putting their energy into a room, and so most of the time if people don't talk to me, I assume that they didn't enjoy their time with me.
right.
You know? And so I'm like, all right, which is fine. It's like, you don't have to be, I don't have to be in your life anymore, but I want to, yeah, I think it's useful to kind of expend energy to make those connections and make it kind of like a better, more enjoyable space
Yeah,
for
that's
for
something
for
I'm
each
gonna
other.
definitely remember going forward for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's somebody, there is going to be someone who is like who loves you and thinks that is like one of their favorites, and being able to sort of like acknowledge them and kind of like, you know, commune, I think is useful for everybody, just sort of like
Well, this
getting
art form
better,
doesn't
more
work very
comfortable.
well without it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So I so the so okay, so here's the question that I had then. And I realized that like it's a little bit of putting you on the spot. But in some ways we can treat it as like prep for whatever conversation you're gonna have
sure.
with your cohort. And that is I guess, so what do you like about you all right now? What does it feel like what does it feel like you do that you like? And, and yeah, how would you describe the characteristics of where you're at as a group as in the way that you like playing? Um,
Yeah. Okay, so luckily I've spent the past 25
right, yeah.
thinking about that.
It sounds like you've been reflecting on it, but
I'm still processing for sure. So I don't have all the answers. Here's where I'm at right now. Um, I I really love the people and the personalities in this cohort. Like they're just really interesting, cool, smart, funny people, right? And um, a couple nights ago, I was talking with one of them, and uh, and I was saying how like I was encouraging them to like let themselves come out in their performance. Like
yeah,
through their
yeah,
characters, we want to see you because we love you, right? And then oddly, and when Louis was walking out from y'all's show on Wednesday, he stopped talking to a couple of us, and he just happened to say, "When I'm at my best, I'm most authentically myself,
yeah,
and when I'm struggling is when I'm putting on something or trying." And I'm paraphrasing. Um, so one thing I think that I would like to think of goal wise for our group is to always be looking at um, letting our individual members' personalities and authentic selves shine through their performances. Like that's what we want from everyone because everyone's so great.
yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
like great's not a great word, but you know what I mean. Like
Hmm.
everyone, we want that from all of you. Um, that's one thing. I don't
I've been
know.
having that conversation with people a lot lately, and
I
I'm
don't know how to
fully on
turn that
board.
into a goal or if I just did, but like that's a thought. The second one is, and I don't know if this is how much of this is the people in the cohort, the program and form that we've been studying. Sorry if you can hear the signs. Um, Program and form that we've been studying, or the yeah, I don't know the what's causing this, but like when we are performing, the the agreement, the yes anding, the support is like it's like there's no it's like reckless. It's like full on. There's
Uh-huh.
no hesitation to support anything that's happening or anyone's move. There's no like begrudging faces or anything like that. Like to keep that and protect that through the inevitable development of like more and more comfort, more and more drama, more and more like whatever, like
Right,
time
living.
with other people,
Right, yeah.
but like to try to hold on and protect that. Because I think when an audience, when you're part of a performance like that, it feels great. But I think it's also great for the audience to just see that and be like, where do you go and see people have each other's back like this,
Yeah.
in this world? Um, those are the two things that have come to mind so far. Um, that I'm still thinking sitting with. I don't know if that I feel like that falls a little short of some of what we're talking about in terms of what we want to have for a goal. But like if I were to put it in like a mission statement, it'd be like we want to bring out our true selves into our performance and never lose our, enthusiastic support that we currently enjoy, that kind of thing. Um, but it doesn't really address like anything like story wise or theatrical wise, or
Yeah, I
still
mean,
trying to think of stuff like that. And I think that might require more like collaborative thought as well.
yeah, and I think that's okay, you know. I mean that this stuff, it, any live thing evolves. So I
Yeah.
think the most important thing is just to like have some sense of why it matters, you know. And then as you as those as time moves on, you start to get more of a sense of what the thing is, and you know, it probably takes living in it to really kind of understand
I
what
think
it's going to be.
I think if I had one nugget so far on that front, it would be energy.
Hmm.
I'd like to see us grow when it comes to our shows reaching uh, like enormous levels of energy
Uh-huh.
and coming up and down in the energy, but like some sort of intentional goal related to energy feels good to me in this particular form. Like seeing Swamp set Wednesday night,
Yeah.
uh, it was just so fulfilling energy wise. Like I want to be around that and I want to be in that.
Yeah.
And I think that's something my group hasn't gotten as good as we could get over time with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's in front of you with more, you know, with more reps and whatnot there. So that's I think that's a reasonable, I think that's a great aspiration. Um So, all right. So, we'll give, hey, Brian and I need a suggestion, we're going to play a scene. So, if you're out there in the chat, throw a suggestion our way. And if you don't, then I've got a backup list. But really, a live, fresh one would be good. And to buy time, for anybody out there to actually throw a suggestion in, I kind of feel like, well, since I'm extracting that from, instead of just extracting that from you, I feel like it would be good if I shared like my perspective on that a little bit
Right.
too, that I think
Okay.
aligns with what you're talking about. And what seems exciting to me is that the you guys being you guys playing together, uh I think has a lot of the stuff that you're kind of like considering, thinking about wanting to look at. And when I think about the stuff that seems like the most fun for you all in the overlap where I see a lot of people doing it and seeming to get excited it's almost like a mischief slingshot where I see the thing being, I see it being drawn back where like there is some realization whether on, it certainly happens to you. Your eyes get like the cat clock,
Right.
where like you start to smile and you just start ping ponging back and forth. But it happens with like everybody on the
The
team
first
where
face I pictured was Casey's. Yeah.
yeah. There's like there's some. I mean, you all do it, uh, and it feels like the shared characteristic to me where a scene starts, somebody and you can see somebody realizing what the potential is
Mhm.
and like appreciating that potential before it ever turns into action, and that it's that sense of like it elastically being pulled back,
Yeah, that's what
everything
you're
sort of
saying.
being pulled back, and then the satisfaction that the person has releasing it, I think very frequently translates into the satisfaction that that an audience has experiencing it. But watching enough shows, like there, it does feel to me like that there is a very specific thing that happens with you all, which is like the recognition of potential and the stretch before the pop into it.
Yeah, that's super insightful. Thanks for sharing that.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it is a thing I like. It is like why I'm being so like, hey, come on, play. You
Right,
should
right,
play.
right. Yeah,
Right? Because it's like it feels like it feels like it would be a shame not to see it,
yeah, yeah.
more. I want to see it more, and I want to
Oh,
see
and I want to keep
happens,
doing it.
So so apologies to all of your classmates for me being so on everybody's nuts about it. Um, all right, cool. All right, well, let's play something. Looks like Will Styles out there. Hey, Will. Uh, Shout out to both your potential maybe team in the future and to Swamp. You get Will is great. Will, you gotta
Will's,
love getting the chance to play with
Will's the
Will.
best.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome. Um, so, and I, I just had, uh, I talked about a lot of things I didn't like, also in conversations on Wednesday, but I'm not going to put that
Out in the
online.
world. Okay.
So but I will say, hey, there are things I don't like, and there are, performers I don't enjoy watching. So when I'm being really nice, I'm not being facile. But you know what? I'd rather be positive. So I really like Ray. I really like Will, and I really like Brian too. All right, so great. So we'll grab Will's suggestion, and we're probably only gonna have one because I have to talk your ear off for 35 minutes already about this stuff. But Sean, we'll save yours for the future. It will go in the kitty. Cool. All right, great. So Will's suggestion was Rambo.
Rambo. Sweet.
Whoa, get a load of this. Wait, wow. What do you think of that? That's a big knife. It's a huge knife. What do you get up to with this thing?
That looks like a killing knife.
Yeah, it does. It does look. I found it in your butcher block.
In my butcher block?
Yeah, I came in here. Yeah, I came in. Yeah, I came in here to cut the pizza up, and I couldn't find a
That
pizza.
that's
You know,
not my
I
knife. I would never
well,
trust
it was in
myself
your
around a
butcher
knife.
block. Look,
It's a
I
mystery.
put it back. It's what?
We need to get rid of that. Um,
Well, what do you mean?
no,
I just touched
can't be
it.
having killing knives in the kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, that's exactly my point. Like,
The last, look, we're
what?
barely breaking even. Last thing I need is a murder in the
Well,
kitchen.
I'm saying, why is it? Yeah, no, I get you. I'm on the same page. We don't need a murder in your kitchen. Um, but but I mean, you don't recognize this? This is a mystery knife. It's just shown up in your kitchen.
I we might need to call the cops and get it dusted.
Well, no, we can't get it dusted. I just handled it. I was just my
Well,
prints are going to be the main prints on that thing.
but it won't be the only prints.
Well, I mean, I was, I was like, whoa, how do prints
Why are
work?
you waving it around like that?
Because I was surprised. I was like, what is this? I found no pizza cutter in any of the drawers. Okay, I'll use the knife. I use a knife from Butcher Block. This looks like the biggest knife from the Butcher Block, so I'll pull it out. And then I was like, wow, this is like a serrated. You're right. Killing knife is the best way to describe it. It's a knife for killing. And I was like, what is this doing in your kitchen? That doesn't make any, you
Well,
know,
at night when I have a guest chef, like
what?
you come to town
Uh-huh.
to be their guest chef,
Yeah,
and you find a killing knife in the butcher block,
that's what I'm saying.
that's a mystery.
Wait, yours now? Come on now. That's I don't necessarily like what you're implying
I'm
there.
not
If
implying
I'm
anything other
reading you,
than something sketchy. I'm not looking at you.
well, you are looking right at me, and
I
what
mean,
you're
I'm
saying
saying I'm
is
not suspecting you.
perhaps.
Perhaps you've got some people that don't like you.
Well, I mean, if the two guests for the evening are me, and I'm looking to cut the pizza, and get it out there in the hands, it's a big night. I'm the pizza king, your restaurant's full of people because they want
It's
to
a
taste my
huge night.
pizza.
We haven't had this many people here
Yeah.
ever.
Well, and I love that.
I'm looking
That
at this night to save my business.
jeez. Well, then maybe we don't want to, maybe we should just figure out what's going on with the killing knife.
Do you have
Uh,
anyone that's trying to kill you?
I no. Oh my God, no. No,
Because I
why
don't.
would who would
Everybody
want to
loves me.
well, everybody loves me. I'm the pizza king. And I would say that, I'm I brought a bunch of I mean, we don't
Does any king not have at least one enemy?
yeah, but I'm the pizza king. I mean, of course I have rivalries. I have a lot of friendly rivalries. Um, Pizza Prince, Dr. Pizza, Pizza Maniac. Um,
Pizza Maniacs sounds sketchy.
no, I mean, yeah, but it's just he's a maniac because he puts all kinds of crazy stuff on pizza, but makes it work.
That's
You
not
know
enough to be a maniac.
what? What? You don't think that's what he
That's like
calls?
that's like being excited. That's not being a maniac. Maniac causing mayhem.
Well, a normal maniac, but the pizza maniac is like it's in the context of pizza. So, and it's got a logo, and he's he's lively. He'll be like, "Oh, the pizza maniac," but then she's just
So
a
you've never
pizza
had
guy.
any episodes of violence in any of your previous guest spots?
No, no, I have not. I haven't. So the what is it about causality? Um,
Correlation?
Correlation. Yeah, it's something about those two things, right?
Correlation is not causality, or vice versa.
I think that is what I was trying to think of. Correlation is not causality, although it could be causality is not correlation. I guess either, I don't know if it's transitive or what. But all I'm saying is like, hey, yes, Pizza King is here tonight, making my pizza, looking to cut it up, get it out to all the hungry folks out there, saving your restaurant. Didn't know that, but happy to do it. Happy to save the restaurant. I'm just saying that, okay,
Should we leave it in the pizza block and see who comes to get it?
I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah. I don't want to take ownership over this thing. In fact, I think maybe I'm just going to
What?
wipe it down. I'm going to wipe the handle down since
Wipe the handle down?
well, I
We
touched it.
haven't dusted it yet.
We don't if we dust it, it's going to be my prints. So we
We
don't
know that, but that could be other prints there.
yeah, but I don't want to take that I'm the
You
main
have an alibi. We hired you to make pizza to save our restaurant.
well,
You have an
I
alibi.
I know, but who knows, I haven't been around people for all day.
I have
Uh
never added cops to a situation that didn't make the situation better.
are you serious? That's ridiculous. That is a ridiculous statement to make. I
We've had many episodes here at this restaurant.
well, maybe
Violence.
that's why it's about to close. If you're in a bad neighborhood where like you
Neighborhood's
have to,
great. Place
what is it?
has had a string of bad luck.
See,
Um,
this is making me feel like this is a correlation, not a causality. If you're already having a bunch of issues, then just because I happen to be here, if you got a lot of other issues, then it probably would have happened not anyway. Either way, you know,
that's
it's
fair, but this is in the kitchen. We haven't had issues in the kitchen.
it's just been in the front,
It's been,
so
yeah,
it's creeping in to
patrons
the
fighting
kitchen.
amongst themselves, fighting with us, um, mainly.
Well,
Yeah.
sounds like maybe you have some assholes on staff then. And so if that's the case, then who's your biggest asshole if they're fighting with the customers?
Correlation is not causation. Like,
I,
just
that's
because
what
just
I'm
because you get in
saying.
a couple of fights doesn't mean you're an asshole.
Well, okay, right. I guess you get a deep dive on it. So is there someone that, because it feels like extremely loose cannon behavior for me if I'm an employee and I get in a fight with a customer, that I feel like that I'm so willing to have the social contract break down because that's
Sure, sure,
pretty
but
serious, right?
self-defense is kind of different, right? Um,
Yeah, self-defense is different.
yeah,
So you
most of our
just
fights have been strictly self-defense. Um,
so you just
and
have
then
customers attacking the
I've trained
staff.
my staff to take a punch, to protect themselves.
How do you
And at a
do
certain
that?
point, we've got an acronym, and at a certain point, you have to fight back.
Sure, hit me with it.
That it's protect yourself,
Uh-huh.
save yourself, fight back. So PYSYFB, which
Is
is
that
not the best acronym.
yeah, I guess
I
no, I
always have
guess
to
an
remember the
acronym
actual
is
words to remember the
yeah.
acronym, but it still functions.
P pissy fib?
Pissy fib is,
Is that
yeah,
is
yeah.
that yeah, yeah.
Um,
I mean, it's
yeah,
probably
so
gonna
like
stick in my head now.
we have mandatory training every year, fire safety, health code safety, and pissy bib.
Whole seminar on pissy fib.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm gonna remember it.
That one we can't even do online. We got to bring a guy, an instructor comes in,
Uh-huh.
literally beats the shit out of us while we learn protective
Well,
moves.
when was the last time this guy was in here?
Oh, we're about due for this year. It's been about 10 months.
Oh, okay. So there's no way that it's his knife, unless you just didn't notice it for. I mean, how often do you go to the butcher's block to get knives out? You guys
Uh,
mostly do what? Spaghetti?
yeah, we don't do much butchering.
See, so it could be from any, it could be from any well, I mean, that's good then, because then if my prints are on it, and it's been there for a while, it's unlikely that it got up to any funny business. I really just don't feel I just don't want to call the
It's a tough
cops.
business. It's a tough business.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to protect yourself, save yourself, and fight back.
This is true. This
Hmm.
is true.
Yeah, I hear that.
I send my kids to school every morning. I drop them off. As they get
Hmm.
out of the car, I say that. I say, pissy bib.
Man, your kids too. Jeez, that's
Mhm.
rough. That's rough stuff. Wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Let's call the cops and we'll we'll let them. We'll let them dust if this is a setup and the Pizza King is going to winds up going to jail or prison or whatnot for something I did not do.
Come on.
I just don't want
I
this to be a.
I trust our justice system.
Do you?
You're gonna be fine.
Do
You're
you?
gonna be
Because I've been
fine.
I've been fucked so many times on like a tax bracket situation, um,
Um,
and various parking things, and some littering stuff. None of which was
none of
actual,
which you actually did.
None of which I actually did. I just got stuck. I just got nailed by the fuzz. Where the brave men and women of our
That
of
doesn't jive with the version of the justice system that I've come to know and believe
well,
and trust.
I think that you might be in an extreme circumstance if you're constantly being assaulted by your customers and your
Yeah, and
customers are
have not
assaulting
spent
each
a day
other
in jail,
in a
not
nice
had to spend
neighborhood.
not had to spend a day in jail, nor any fines or I mean, we've been sued dozens of times and not had to pay anything.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow, that's the
we have
life.
when we have the cameras showing our efforts to protect ourselves,
Uh-huh.
save ourselves,
I've
and
been sued.
yeah.
Yeah, I've always had to settle. It's the cadre of pizza professionals are extremely litigious.
Well, and
So
you kind of asked for it, declaring yourself
the Pizza
pizza
King,
king. That's
I don't think I'm asking for it by just being the Pizza King. You know,
I don't know,
Pizza Maniac's asking
you
for
enter
it.
a litigious world and you draw that kind of attention to yourself.
It's
Um,
you. I all right. Okay. I'll
I
file it.
mean,
I'll
and I'm
think
not
about
saying you
it.
deserve it. I'm just saying, like, I could
Yeah.
see why I went that
Well,
way.
it's my brand now, and obviously it's a brand that's working with all these people out here.
Oh my
So,
God. Like, we probably need to turn the oven on here.
are you serious? The oven has not been on.
Do you need to preheat it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We need to pre. It's just like a
Look,
gas oven.
you're the pizza king.
Yeah, I thought you had a pizza
I'm mostly
oven.
pasta here.
Ah, all right, okay, I can make this work. There's so many hungry people out there. I just got distracted by this fucking knife.
Yeah.
Okay, what is this? I just popped this open.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, this isn't good. We got a pair of human hands in here.
That's not good.
All right, all right, all right. Oh, good. Oh man. Yeah. Oh man. We're already rolling up at 7. We'll call it a one scene night and instead say, hey, thanks for talking to me so much about about the point of the process that you're in right now. I really appreciate that. And and I hope that you keep me in the loop as to like exactly what winds up happening. Or, just when you see me, say hello. I appreciate that too.
Yeah, 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 of course, of course. I'm grateful as well. Grateful for the experience at CIC. It's been one of the more fulfilling creative things I've done.
Well,
Um,
it's great to have you. It's been great to have you there, and yeah, and to I'm glad that you all appreciate each other in that cohort too. Because it's fun. I wind up finding myself just liking when people like each other and form those bonds. So I'm in a little, I'm a little bit vampire-y, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
That's understandable.
that's me. That's part of the introvert working again. Um, cool. All right. So in terms of the show stuff, next Friday is actually Halloween. Per usual for holiday stuff, I think probably I'll make that a call-in show. So if you're watching and you're around on Friday, jump in the chat and I'll pull people on and we'll play a scene and then shuffle somebody else in and we'll do a few of those. And if you're around Chicago, there is a Halloween party next Friday at the Western, which will be the future home of CIC. So, you would see me there in person at some point in time. I got a beer costume, a pint of beer, and Mary Wynn's gonna dress up as Jim E. Brown, the a recent musical favorite of ours, who is clearly a man in his 40s, but claims to be an obese alcoholic 19-year-old with various degenerative conditions. So we're gonna do a couple's costume using that.
Can I plug one thing?
Yes, please do.
Actually, two things. So I'm in an independent team called Old Friends with some of the folks from my cohort at CIC. And we got a show Sunday at 8 o'clock at Second City. It's called Must See TV. We're opening for that show. That's at Donnie Skybox Theater. And then Thursday the 6th, we're doing the LSI's Thursday night show.
Nice. Must see TV. Donnie Skybox Sunday 8.
This Sunday, the 26th at 8 o'clock. And then November 6th, LSI Thursday night show. Yeah.
Great. Go check them out. I can vouch for the portion of that team that I know as the portion of Class Action. They're great folks. All right. Thanks, Ryan.
All right, thank you,
We'll
man.
talk to you soon.
See you soon.